Hey guys, welcome to Core Prep today, Sunday before Memorial Day. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the weekend. Looks like the weather today, anyway, is going to be phenomenal. Tomorrow, maybe hit and miss, but it's still going to be warm, so that's a good thing. We'll actually be able to enjoy this nice weather, at least for today, maybe tomorrow. So we'll kick it off today. We'll go a little shorter today, not short because of anything in particular, other than we're just going to focus on one motion today. So shouldn't take quite as long. We'll finish up with some exercises at the end and see how we feel. So as we go through this, really what I want you to get dialed into, because at this point, the one motion we're going to go over today is extension. Okay. There's really no right or left side. We're not going to go extension rotation, extension lateral flexion. We're just going to go into extension. So really what I want you to feel out is what you have and see how that may change through these different orientations to gravity, whether that's a little easier standing, a little easier sitting, a little easier sideline, a little easier prone, all these different positions. Just kind of check in with yourself and see if it feels a little easier or a little tougher. Some of the positions that might be a little tougher, obviously prone, you're going against gravity a little bit more. Sideline, you're actually getting the friction of your shoulder. So that's going to be a little bit more difficult for you. But just see whether or not you can get the same amount of excursion through your extension. Now, understand, because we're going through extension, there shouldn't be a ton of motion, okay? Me doing this, like, I'm really not getting more extension through my spine. I'm getting extension through my hips and my spine. So we're really just focusing on getting that extension through the spine, keeping the hips where they're at, okay? So the first position here, we're going to stand with our feet about shoulder width, arms across the chest, and then from here, we're just going to extend the trunk back, okay? Again, keeping the hips out of it. So if I'm coming from the side, as I extend back, you're going to notice, like, I don't have a ton of spinal extension, okay? And you're not going to have a ton of spinal extension. It's just whatever you have. So just being cognizant of, am I just getting extension through the spine, or am I getting extension through the hips and the spine? All right. And we're just concentrating on the spine today. Good. So let's go seated. If you got a chair, go ahead and use a chair. I know it's a lot easier for some people to use a chair versus being on the ground. So grab your chair if you got one. I don't happen to have one, so I'm going to go on the floor. And again, from here, we're going to cross our arms and we're just going to go into extension. And then I'm going to let myself drop down, and then I'm going to go into extension. So if you need to see that from the side, okay, I'm just letting gravity kind of pull me down, and then I'm just extending against gravity. Okay, how far can I get? Good, perfect. All right, I'm going to start on my right hip. Okay, so again, my legs are straight. From here, arms across the chest. I'm just going to extend, and I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to extend. Now, again, notice I'm not getting a ton of motion here, mostly because you don't have a ton of motion, but two, my body weight is driving into the floor. So now I have the friction force of the floor that I have to overcome to get that extension. So don't be surprised if this is actually a little bit more difficult for you. Yeah, let's get a couple more. Good. All right, I'm going to flip over to my left. Arms across again. I'm going to extend and bring it back. Extend, bring it back. Now we're just trying to notice, is it a little tougher, if I have, as I go through one side versus another. Get a couple more. Perfect. All right. Then I'm going to flip just onto my back. Okay. Now this is going to be a little more interesting because from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive my upper back into the ground and try to get extension through my upper and lower back, just pushing into the ground. You're going to notice that that little area right underneath your lower back is going to get a little flatter, and then it'll get a little, so it'll be hard to stick your hand in, and then it'll get a little easier. We just create a little more space as we go into extension, and then just relax and back and up and back and up and back and up. Perfect. All right, let's go prone. Okay. So from here, we're going to be flat down. And all I want you to think about is we're just going to lift up and then back down. Lift up, back down. Lift up. Now, I'm not using my hands to push into the ground as I do this. I'm just seeing whether or not I have the strength to be able to lift myself up and drive myself back down. Let's get a couple more of these. Perfect. All right, I'm going to stand up. All right, so if you have a band, I'd grab a band. It's probably a little easier, but if you don't, that's okay. Okay, so if I've got a band, I'm going to start with the band in front of me. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that band that's pulling me forward. Okay, so my hands are at my chest and I'm just extending back, just like we did originally when we were checking to see what we have. If you don't, and you want to grab a little plate, dumbbell, whatever you got, you can hold it right at your chest and just extend and relax. Okay, so we're going to try to hit about 15 of these nice and easy. Okay, don't overdo it. And again, I'm really concentrating on not letting my hips sway back and forth. Okay, just want that extension coming from my trunk. Let's get about 4 more of these. Good. All right, I'm going to bring the band a little lower. So we'll go seated next. So if you got your chair, grab your chair. Okay, same thing. I'm going to use the band and I'm going to let the band kind of pull me forward as I extend back. If you have your dumbbell, just kind of keep it really close to your chest. If you want to make it a little tougher, bring it out a little further from your body. Okay, that creates a little bit more push down. Okay, so from here, sitting up nice and tall, and then I'm just extending. And again, I'm going to try to hit 12 to 15 of these, at least 12. And obviously, the more tension you have on the band, the harder it is. The bigger the dumbbell or the plate or whatever you're using, the harder it is. Okay. Get about 3 more of these. Good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my band, okay, and I'm going to lay on my right side. Left arm has the band, so the band is pulling me this direction, okay? So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend back and bring it forward. Now, if you have your dumbbell, you can do that too. You can just put it across your chest like we've been doing. It's going to make it more difficult because the weight's still pushing you into the floor, so you're going to create a little more friction, okay? So I'm coming up. If I want to make this really a lot tougher, I'll just bring it up here. I'm just going nice and easy, okay? Just trying to get that 15 reps if I can. If you can only get 7 or 8 with your external load, with your band or your plate, then get rid of it and see if you can get an extra couple extra reps. Get one more here. Good. And so I don't have to turn around and face the other way. I actually got a little dumbbell right here, so I'm going to grab it. You know, I have to look at my backside when I do the other side. I'm just going to hold it across my chest. I'm going to get some extension. Good. All right, I got 15. All right, so let's just flip over on our back and we'll start here. We'll just go arms across. From here, all I want you to do is arch and try to scoot your shoulders ever so slightly down so that we get that good extension through the back and then push them down, okay? So we're gonna extend back, push them down, extend back, push them down as best you can. Last one here. Perfect. All right. Then I'm going to flip over on my stomach. Now, if you really struggled with this one and you felt like it was super tough, then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you bring yourself up just a little. Now, as I push up, I actually start to feel where my lower back kind of reaches that full extension. So if I get any higher, it's because my pelvis is starting to come up off the ground. So here's where my in range is. I'm going to find that very lightly. I'm going to find where my in range is. I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to slowly come down as far as I can. So we're just going to go through some light eccentrics. Okay. So again, find that in range, nice and light. Okay. Don't jam it there. And then let your hands off and then slowly bring yourself down. And we're going to do about 15 of these. Okay. So up, let go, back down, 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 up, let go, up, let go, up, 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 get about 3 more. Perfect. All right. So let's just run through what those exercises were again. Okay. So the first one, I had my band a little bit higher. Okay. If you got a dumbbell, use a dumbbell. We're here, just going into extension. And again, we're just getting about 12 to 15 reps. If you can do a little more, do a little more. No more than 20. Okay. If you have a dumbbell, grab a dumbbell. Same thing. Okay. We can use a dumbbell here, and just going through extension. Okay. The second one, we were seated. So we're going to kind of bring our band down a little bit so it's not pulling us so much from a high distance. Okay. Sitting up nice and tall. And again, driving back. Or we got a dumbbell in front of us, driving back. Okay. Next one, we're going sideline. Band's pulling us this way and we're extending through and bringing it back. Or you can bring the band up for more tension, extend through, bring it back. Same thing if I've got my dumbbell, I just hold it across my chest or my plate, and I'm trying to get 12 to 15 on both sides. Okay. The second to last one was supine. Okay. And that one was here. And we're just trying to get up as high as we can, sliding our shoulders ever so slightly down towards our pelvis if we can. And then relaxing everything, pushing our shoulders back up. Just trying to get as much extension as we can with the friction of the ground. And then the last one here was prone, where we're finding that in range, right? So very lightly, I'm coming up, I find that in range, let my hands go, and then slowly let my chest fall to the ground, okay? You guys can go through this rotation 2 to 4 times and then see how you feel. So then once you're all the way through and you go through multiple times, if you choose, right? Maybe the first time through was enough for you. But if you feel pretty good, maybe you go through it 2, 3, 4 times, circuit it through, okay? And then go back and just check. How does it feel now to go through standing extension? How does it feel to go seated extension? How does it feel to go sideline, prone, supine extension? Does it feel a little better? You feel a little more loose. When you stand up and move, does that back feel a little more loose than it did when we started? That's really the goal here, right? Again, I hope you guys enjoy this holiday weekend. I wanted to make this short, quick, but very effective. If you didn't get enough just going through the one time, go ahead and take your time after this. Go back through again, see how you feel with it. Hopefully everybody has a good day today. I know I'm going to try to enjoy the weather myself. We look forward to seeing you guys back in the shop very, very soon. If you didn't make it today, no worries. I'll get this uploaded to YouTube on our YouTube channel, Body Activation LLC. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. That way you get all the notifications every time that we upload a video. We're continually going to keep uploading these videos. I know that the plan is to get back and get clients coming in here very, very soon. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop doing these preps. So just understand that these preps aren't stopping anytime soon. We want to continue to give you guys the ability to do some things at home, knowing that a lot of us are still at home, doing things at home and not going out. So hopefully, like I said, you guys enjoy the holiday weekend, be safe, and I will see you on Tuesday for upper body prep. Thanks a lot.